Aile Strike Gundam. Hey, what's up again, everybody? Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, Gundam.tk. Good to have you here for the final verdict on the real grade Aile Strike Gundam. To kick things off with the negatives, and please remember, of course, that only listen to the ones that apply to you. If you paint and make things look great, then you don't have to worry about those. But the one thing that bugs me the most about the real grades is just the fact that it has many small parts and they fall off. So I've had the knees fall off, I've had this ankle thing, I've had problems with that. These have fallen off, the front skirts have fallen off. I've had the shoulders fall off, the backpack fall off, and the beam rifle is a pain just to get into the hand. But that's the price of having many small parts and many moving parts. So if you can put up with that, and it's no different than any of the other real grades, no better or for worse. In fact, I'd say maybe this one stays together just a little bit better. Now the next issue comes with the design of the Strike Gundam. The Strike Gundam is as simple as it gets, but when you add on a big backpack that protrudes out of the back, you're going to get weight issues. Now you can deal with that just by positioning the legs, but that brings up another set of problems, but you can also defeat that just by putting it on an action base, as you see here. Now my next one is, this is totally up to you, the non-clean look. When I first put it together, I never change my reviews. Like, once I record them, I stick with my first impressions. It came across as being a little bit cluttered, a little too much color, and a little bit too many lines. Now, once I've added on the backpack, I've totally come around, and I think it looks great the way it is. But again, that's up to you. Now, a few other things. You've got one pilot. If they're going to go to the trouble of giving you one little pilot of Kira Yamato, and they're going to go to the trouble of opening the cockpit, could they not just print off another figure to have sit in there? Whether you paint him or not, just comes across as being a little cheap. Now, for the armored Schneiders themselves, which are going to fit in there, first of all, they swing around more than 180 degrees. Now, the color, I'm glad that they do at least give you the gray and the white, so you're getting two different colors. A little bit of paint, and you can make those look a lot better. But it's a little bit tricky to get them in the hands, especially if they do face down on occasion when you're dealing with all of the falling off parts. That's another one I forgot at the end of the forearm. Now, the beam rifle along those lines is really hard to put in because you swivel down the one piece and stick it in there. Again, it just takes patience, and if you've got the patience, it won't annoy you at all. But the Aile pack, that falling off is a bit of an issue because at first it came across as being really secure. Now, maybe I'm not attaching it just correctly, but every once in a while you're going to see that the parts here, they pop up, and I've had it come off a few times, so I'm going to have to take a look at that a little more carefully. But that's something, if you're holding it by the Aile pack and it falls and takes a tumble, then that could cause problems with all the little parts that are going to fall off. Next up, the red parts up on the top, they're going to lower. I haven't had weight issues where they've been falling by themselves, but every once in a while you'll look over and you won't have noticed that just by brushing against it that you knock them down. So you're going to have to keep them parallel or in whatever pose you choose. And finally, with this many moving parts, down in the feet especially, they don't come across as being naturally flat, so you're going to have to get them in such a way, and you're going to have to put in the extra effort to make sure that the foot itself is flat, and that you're not just getting the soles or something flat, because otherwise you're going to have more balance issues than you already might. Those negatives took more time than I expected, but the positives really, I'm going to tell you right from the start, outweigh the negatives. So first of all, look at the Aile pack itself. When you look back there at just the amount of detail that you're going to get, the little stickers there, the two colors of red, the yellow striping, the fact that you just get all of those parts up there in the red and black when you're putting it all together, just the build itself comes across as being genius. I'm so impressed with the backpack. And the backpack, the Strike is great by itself, but it's that backpack that really makes it look new. Now, you're also going to get those other details, like I was so happy to put on the shiny stickers inside the shield, because then you're not left with that debate about, do you want to paint it gray, do you want to paint it red? I mean, I've seen the old RX-78 too, the inside of its shield done in a million different ways. They do give you the lines if you want to go do that, but by putting in the stickers, it just gets rid of that plainness that even if you see it with almost no effort involved, you can still make it look good. And to bring it back to the shield, it's such a classic design, but it's so simple and yet stylish with its very few lines, but its angular angles and the telephone. Back to business to the other side, where you've got the beam rifle with its just use of two colors there and the clear parts, just making it look stylish again. But the big winner for me is just this inner frame, and you can see black parts sticking out all over in the front and back. They even put stickers on the back of the legs there. But up at the top, on the shoulders, inside the shoulders, all around on the chest, you're going to get that inner frame, which really comes across as looking more futuristic, especially compared to the old cartoony style of the 1970s and the RX-78 too. And the bending parts, I mean, that's with the inner frame. It's not just there for style here, but it's also going to give you the function of splitting knees, splitting thighs, splitting forearms. Everything there is working. But at the end of the day, with the real grade, what's the most important thing? The colors. You're going to get these 3 colors of white. They do look great, especially when they're offset with the 2 different colors of red that you can see here, and the proportions. I don't know if they could have possibly done a better job of getting this look more true to the anime in any way. So now this brings us to the final question. Is this as good as the Master Grade or the Perfect Grade? I really like the Master Grade. It's one of my favorite solids, and it comes with the launching base. And I wasn't sure if the real grade could live up to the Master Grade without the launch pose. But as you may have seen in the previous part, my final criteria is, does this live up to the power of the anime? And I know that's a cheesy criteria, but when you have it launching using this action base, or when you have it in just this kind of pose with Invoke playing in the back of your head, this could not match the anime in any better way. And the fact that you're getting it at a reasonable price and 1/144th scale just makes it all the more impressive. So I'd love to hear from people that have built the Perfect Grade to see just what they think of this compared to that. And as always, why don't you let me know what you think of this kit, the verdict, and everything you've seen down below. The last question that has to be asked is, where does the real grade line go from here? I was pleasantly surprised that they went with something as new and old as the Strike. So where's it going to go next? Double O, classics like the new and Zeta Mark II? Where do you want it to go? Of course, I'd rather get a Master Grade 2.0, but that's just me. Why don't you let me know down below? So thanks again for watching, everybody. Robert184, Gundam.tk. Hit like if you do, subscribe if you don't want to miss any other videos, and thank you guys for your watching and your comments. Stay tuned for lots more reviews of kits new and old, including what's up next month. Yes, it's the Master Grade Double O Riser. Can't wait for that. Anyway, stay tuned for lots more. Thanks again. Strike packs manufactured by Adidas. So what do you think? Is ale even a word? I don't know. I always figured it was that LR thing in action again.